The Avengers radio series, a cultural phenomenon in South Africa back in the 1970s, South Africa was a country with no national television service. It wasn't until 1976 that the country would get its first taste of television broadcasts. But before that, radio was the primary medium of entertainment and information for the masses. This was the context when The Avengers, a British spy-fi series, made its debut on South African radio and became a cultural phenomenon. The Avengers was a British television series that originally aired from 1961 to 1969. The show revolved around the adventures of John Steed, a suave and sophisticated secret agent, and his various female associates. The series was a unique blend of traditional spy thriller elements with science fiction and fantasy, which set it apart from other shows of its time. While the series was hugely popular in the UK and had also made a significant impact in the American markets, being one of the rare British series given a network transmission slot, it was virtually unknown in South Africa. This was primarily due to the lack of a national television service in the country until 1976. However, as a film series, The Avengers was able to gain some exposure in South Africa through film rentals. But it was the launch of the radio series that truly brought The Avengers to the masses in South Africa. Come and listen at www.myclassicradio.net. The Black Museum. Horror and mystery based on Scotland Yard's collection, Orson Welles was both host and narrator for stories of horror and mystery based on Scotland Yard's collection of murder weapons and various ordinary objects once associated with historical true crime cases. Walking through the museum, Welles would pause at one of the exhibits, and his description of an artifact served as a device to lead into a wryly narrated dramatized tale of a brutal murder or a vicious crime. In the United States, the series aired on the Mutual Network between January 1 and December 30, 1952. Beginning May 7, 1953, it was also broadcast over Radio Luxembourg, sponsored by the cleaning products Dreft and Miro. Since the BBC carried no commercials, Radio Luxembourg aired sponsored programs at night to England. In the United States, a program of similar scope, using many of the same picked cases as the Black Museum, and nearly mirroring its broadcast run, was broadcast by NBC called Whitehall 1212. The two shows were different in the respect that while Whitehall 1212 told the story of a case entirely from the point of view of the police starting from the crime scene, the Black Museum was more heavily dramatized and played out scenes of the actual murders and included scenes from the criminal's point of view. Come and listen at www.myclassicradio.net.
Another cup of Maxwell House coffee, George?
Sure. Pour me a cup, Gracie.
You know, Maxwell House is always good to the last drop.
That drop's good, too.
Yes, it's Maxwell House Coffee Time, starring George Burns and Gracie Allen. With yours truly, Bill Goodwin, the music of Meredith Wilson and his orchestra, and our happy postman. For your Thursday night comedy enjoyment, it's George and Gracie. And for your everyday coffee drinking enjoyment, it's Maxwell House, the coffee that gives you so much more for so little more that it's bought and enjoyed by more people than any other brand of coffee in the world. Yes, Maxwell House, expertly blended and radiant roasted for rich, mellow, extra flavor. Maxwell House, the coffee that's always good to the last drop. Attention, ladies and gentlemen. Would you like to have a new refrigerator, a 1946 automobile, or one of those amazing new washing machines? You would? Then listen to George and Gracie. They're trying to figure out how to get them, too.
No use, Gracie. Our refrigerator can't be fixed. It's just worn out. Can't we get a new one?
Well, I've got our name on every list in town, George. At that big appliance store, we've already moved up 100 places.
How many ahead of us now?
4,900.
How long did it take us to move up 100 places?
A year.
In other words...
We'll have a refrigerator in 49 years.
That's great.
I don't think the milk will keep that long, do you?
I doubt it like anything. Haven't we got any other leads on a new refrigerator?
Well, I'll telephone Mr. Jenkins at the hardware store. I've been on his list for 2 years. I'll plead with him, and I'm sure that... hello? Mr. Jenkins? This is Mrs. Burns. Mr. Jenkins, we've just got to have a refrigerator. Couldn't you... You have?
He has.
We can. Oh,
Well...
thank you, Mr. Jenkins. I'll tell my husband. Goodbye. Oh, he has one refrigerator in his hardware store, and we can have it.
Well, that's wonderful.
But we have to buy one other thing in order to get it.
Well, okay. What do we have to buy?
The hardware store.
You can tell Mr. Jenkins to take his hardware store and keep it.
Oh, what a mess things are in. No refrigerators, no washing machines, no cars. Well, this is what women get for letting men run the country.
You think men are to blame, huh?
Of course. Who runs business? Men. Who runs labor? Men. Who runs politics? Men. Who runs men? Women.
So what?
So cut out the middleman and let women run things from scratch.
You think you could run the world better than men, huh?
Well, we couldn't do any worse. Women get things done. Men just waste time.
Gracie, you don't realize how much work it takes to make a refrigerator. Take the steel alone. First, the iron ore is dug out of the ground by thousands of men. Then thousands of men smelt it.
And there you are. Thousands of men smelt it. One man could do it, but no, they all had to take a sniff.
That's an expression used around steel mills. You say that men are smelting things up.
I certainly do.
What's the use? I can't make you understand.
I understand, all right. I've got everything figured out in my own head.
You have, huh?
Yes, sir. I've got it all in a nutshell.
You said that right. Now, let's drop this discussion.
Oh, darling, have I hurt your feelings with all this talk against men?
Well...
I'm sorry, George. I didn't mean you. And I don't think of you as a man.
Well, thanks.
I don't think of you as a man who does anything.
That's better.
No. I don't think of you as a man who does anything constructive.
Do me a favor and stop thinking about it.
Well, anyway, you know I love you. But I'll love you even more if you can get me a refrigerator.
Gracie, that...
Now, I simply can't put any more food in that old worn-out thing of ours. Oh, excuse me, dear. I'll get it.
Okay.
Good morning, Mrs. Burns. Here's your mail.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Postman. How are you today?
In fine fettle, Mrs. Burns. Bubbling over with the wine of happiness, filled to the brim with the nectar of good health.
I better not touch you or you'll dribble.
Oh, I'm really loaded.
Well, I'm glad someone is in good spirits. I'm sort of depressed myself.
Why?
Well, I'm getting tired of putting good food into any old broken-down thing that won't work any longer.
But you took him for better or worse.
Oh, Mr. Postman, I wasn't referring to my husband. We need a new refrigerator.
Oh, I was in the same fix, but I finally got a new one last week.
My goodness, how?
I won it as a prize. I was a contestant on that quiz program, Answer or Get Killed.
Answer or get killed. And you won? Oh, my, you must be smart.
Well, I've spent years practicing for that program.
You have?
Yes. When my wife says, "Who's the boss around here?" I either answer or get killed.
Oh, Mr. Postman, you've given me a wonderful idea. Maybe we can win a refrigerator.
I hope so. Goodbye, Mrs. Burns. Remember, keep smiling.
George! Oh, George!
Yes, Gracie, what is it?
Oh, I know how to get refrigerators and washing machines and all the things we need.
So do I, but they put you in jail for that.
Oh, no. I got this idea from the postman. We'll go on quiz programs and win what we want.
Quiz program?
I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner. I listened to one the other day, and all the contestants got tremendous prizes no matter what they said.
Really?
Yeah, one lady in the audience just hiccuped and got a mink coat.
No.
With your indigestion, we're on easy street.
Gracie, it might take a few brains to win, too.
Oh, well, then we're a cinch because you're the smartest man in the whole world.
Oh, I'm not.
Name one smarter.
Einstein.
Name another one.
Gee, from here on, they get tough.
Sure. Now, come on. Say you'll be a contestant on one of those quiz programs, George. You're almost sure to win a refrigerator.
Now I'd rather not.
Oh, wait a minute. I just remembered. There's one on right now. I'll turn on the radio. Now, I just want to show you how simple this is.
Well, sure, if you're lucky enough to be a winner. But the odds
And so that brings to a conclusion another session of your favorite quiz program, Guess and Get Rich. Mr. Craig, we're giving you a $10,000 annuity, a house and lot, a new car, and a half interest in the Bank of America.
Gee, thank you very much.
And I hope the next time you're on our program, you'll be lucky enough to be a winner.
Well, George?
Get your hat. What are we waiting for?
Well?
Meredith, I wonder how many people will recognize that familiar melody you're playing.
Well, I'm sure that just about everyone knows Ramona, Bill. Folks have been singing it for almost 20 years.
Yes, I guess you're right, Meredith. It's one of those songs that seems to mellow with the passing of time and never really dies. And out here in this part of the country, of course, Ramona will always have a special kind of meaning. For it brings to mind the beautiful old missions of California with their colorful Indian legends. All such an historic part of the American scene. And you know, in its own way, Maxwell House coffee is a very real part of the American scene, too. We Americans love coffee, have made it our national drink. And it's a fact that more people buy and enjoy Maxwell House coffee than any other brand at any price. Yes, north, east, south, and west, it's Maxwell House wherever you go. It's flavor that explains this national preference, of course. The mellow, full-bodied Maxwell House flavor that results from the skillful blending of these choice, Highland-grown Latin American coffees. Manizales for mellowness. Medellins for richness. Other fine coffees for vigor. And Bucaramangas for full body. Adding up to great coffee at its flavor peak. So, friends, why not know the best in coffee goodness? Coffee pleasure. You can for just a fraction of a penny more per cup than you'd pay for the cheapest coffee sold. Just ask for Maxwell House, the coffee that's always good to the last drop. Well, George and Gracie have started their round of the quiz programs to try and win a refrigerator. We find them now in the studio audience of the first one.
What's the name of this quiz show, Gracie?
It's called Take It or We'll Force It on You.
Sounds promising.
Oh, yes, we're bound to... Sure, they're ready to start the show.
Welcome to Take It or We'll Force It on You. Now, who's our first contestant today?
Oh, and here he is, mister.
Well, step right up and bring that young lady with you. Is she your wife?
Yes.
That answer wins you a brand new deluxe vacuum cleaner.
Huh?
Yes, sir, we don't fool around here. Where were you born, sir?
Brooklyn.
That wins you an electric washing machine.
Gosh.
Well, doesn't he get anything for that gosh?
A toaster for the guard. Where was your wife born, sir?
San Francisco.
That wins you an electric refrigerator, which is platinum lined, holds a 5-year supply of food, automatically mixes any drink at the push of a button, and has an extension that waters the lawn.
Shall we take it, George, or wait for a new model?
We'll take it. We'll take it.
All right, sir. Now, will you settle for what you've got, or will you try for the jackpot question, which pays $50,000 cash? Of course, if you miss this, you get nothing at all.
I'll settle for what I've got. Just
He'll
load it
do
here.
nothing of the sort. He'll go the limit.
That's the spirit, madam. That's the spirit. We don't want to get stuck with any of this dough, boy. We've got bales of it.
Just ask him the question.
All right, here it is. For $50,000, what is your wife's age?
Oh, that's
Oh,
easy.
don't you dare.
Well, sweetheart, $50,000.
That's one question you cannot answer.
Well, mister, we get something, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. No one goes away from here empty-handed.
Oh, good.
Here are 2 tickets to the Burns and Allen radio program.
Let's go. I'd like to meet those. Gracie, I'll never win a refrigerator going around to these quiz shows.
Oh, you're bound to win sooner or later. Now, this next show you're going on is called It Pays to Be a Schnook. Well, you'll get the jackpot.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and it pays millions.
You think I got brains enough to win it, huh?
Well, your long suit is brains. Just ask anyone. You're just...
Hello, all. Oh, hello, Meredith.
Meredith, you know George pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what would you say his long suit is?
Red flannel, as I remember.
No.
Forget it. Why don't you come with us, Meredith, and see it pays to be a schnook? Sounds like a natural for you.
I have a band rehearsal, George. Besides, it wouldn't be fair. While I was in the studio, I saw the script with all the questions on it.
Oh, well, we'll see you later. Wait a minute. Did you see the jackpot question?
I sure did.
Oh, Meredith, we're pretty good friends, aren't we?
I'm proud to say we are, George.
And you'd do a friend a favor, wouldn't you?
You bet I would. I share the views of that fellow who said, "Let me live in a house by the side of the road and be a friend to man."
Pretty choosy, wasn't he? Nowadays, most people just say, "Let me live in a house."
Please, Gracie, don't interrupt. Meredith, I'd consider it a real gesture of friendship if you would tell me the jackpot question.
Anything for a friend, George. You know, there's a poem that expresses the way I feel about friends. It goes like this. My friend to me is like a bird, and I am like a tree. And if he wants to lay an egg, then let him lay it on me.
Meredith, as much as I would love to lay an egg on you, I'm due on the radio.
Yeah, you have to lay it there.
Meredith, the program goes on in 2 minutes. Now, quick, tell me the jackpot question.
Very well. The jackpot question is, who was Prime Minister of England during the reign of Charles I?
You're sure that's it?
I read it in the script.
Swell. Now, what's the answer?
Well, I didn't read that.
You read the question and...
Well, good luck, George. Call on me anytime if I can be of help. Goodbye, all.
He and his corny poems. And now it's too late even to get in the studio.
Oh, well, don't worry, darling. There's another quiz program in half an hour that you'll like even better. It's the musical college run by that fellow with the southern accent.
Oh, yeah, that's a swell show. And I'm sure to win that because I know all about music.
Well, I had that in mind when I got the ticket.
See, you're always thinking of me, Gracie. You're a real pal.
Oh, of course. My friend to me is like a bird, and I am like a tree.
Oh, no, not again. I heard that one. That's not...
Evening, folks. How y'all? Just get busy now and pick out the contestants for the little old program.
Oh, Mr. Professor, you all, why don't you all take my husband off?
Oh, what's his name, ma'am?
Burns. Robert E. Lee Burns.
Well, that sure enough sounds like a little old southern name.
Well, shut my mouth, that's what a little old is.
Well, it sure enough sounds like it.
Well, shut my mouth, it is.
Well, sure enough.
Well, shut my mouth.
Well, sure.
Well, shut.
Gracie, I was born in Brooklyn.
Let me handle this.
You think your husband would be a good little old contestant?
He'll be the littlest, oldest contestant you ever saw.
Gracie, if
Well, all right, then. Children, our first contestant is Mr. Robert E. Lee Burns. Now, Mr. Burns, I'm going to have my orchestra, the Chattanooga Chitman Chewers, play an excerpt from a very well-known popular song. And all you have to do is tell me the name of that song.
this is a pushover.
If you get it right, we'll give you a 1947 refrigerator.
Oh, that's great.
Well, all right, here we go. Now, what song is this taken from?
That's all you play?
Now, that's all. Oh, no coaching from the audience, please.
Would you play it once more?
Okay, here it is.
Drags, doesn't it?
Yeah. Slow number.
Well, come on. Let's go. Identify the song.
I can't.
Well, then I can't give you the refrigerator.
Oh, wait. Surely you won't disappoint a man who comes from the same side of the Mason-Dixon line as you all.
Hey, I guess you're right. Mr. Burns, if you're from my part of the country, I'll give it to you. Where y'all from?
He's from Atlanta, Georgia.
Too bad. If you was from my hometown in Brooklyn, you'd have had it.
Yes.
The chiffon music of Meredith Wilson, Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2.
Gracie, I've had enough of this quiz show stuff. I'm going home and go to bed.
But, darling, we haven't won a refrigerator yet.
I don't care. I'll eat hot food from now on.
Oh, look, George, here's the studio where they have that wonderful quiz show, Answer or Get Killed.
No, I'm not going in there.
Well, hi, Burnses. Say, what are you doing at the studio this time of night?
Well, we're trying to win a refrigerator on one of the quiz shows, Bill, but so far we've had no luck.
Oh? Well, there's one show where you're bound to win with George as your husband.
Which one, Bill?
Bride and Goon.
You love an old joke, don't you?
Yes, George, you're my favorite person.
Let's go home, Gracie.
No, George, I want you to go on Answer or Get Killed.
Oh, that's a terrific show, George. They give away the greatest prizes in radio.
You think they might give us a refrigerator?
A refrigerator? Gracie, they'll give you the factory that makes them. Listen. I walked in there by mistake one day, and the guy said, "You've just won a new Cadillac sedan. Would you like to try for a chauffeur?" Fabulous. I stuck out my hand to shake with the fella. He handed me the deed to Griffith Park.
You now own Griffith Park?
It's mine.
Where all the boys take the pretty girls to the next with them?
Yep. Every night I chase all the boys out.
Well, gee, if they give prizes like that...
And I haven't even told you what the grand prize is.
It's better than Griffith Park or a refrigerator factory?
Oh, sure. The grand prize is a cup of Maxwell House coffee.
Oh.
Maxwell House is the very best in coffee-drinking pleasure, you know. Yet it costs only a fraction of a penny more per cup than the cheapest coffee sold. Now, isn't a cup of Maxwell House coffee a better prize than a refrigerator factory?
You bet. Much easier to dunk donuts in.
Well, sure. You see, the careful selection and blending of choice Latin American coffees plus radiant roasting give Maxwell House that famous flavor.
And another thing, you wouldn't know how many lumps to put in a refrigerator factory.
The flavor of Maxwell House is so wonderful that it's bought by more people than any other brand at any price. So insist on Maxwell House. Always good to the last drop.
Bill, as much as I love Maxwell House coffee,
Yes?
I'm not going on answer or get killed.
Wait a minute, George. I just thought of a show where you'd be a cinch to win the prize. Tom Brenneman.
Brenneman?
Oh, my mistake. He gives the prize to the oldest woman.
Bill, please be serious. We've just got to win a refrigerator. Now, let's see. What other quiz shows are there? People Are Ridiculous, Who Am I, Encyclopedia.
Oh, I know the fellow who runs Who Am I?
Well, can you get George on as a contestant?
Oh, sure. I'll call this. Wait a minute. I can do better than that. They're looking for a celebrity to be guest quizmaster. I'll line it up for you, Gracie.
Wonderful. If I ask the questions, George is bound to win.
Sure. I'll fix it right away. Oh, just one thing, Gracie. Don't get confused. Remember, the name of the program is Who Am I? When you look at George, don't say, what is it?
Let's go, Gracie. You're pretty sure I can win this, huh, Gracie?
Oh, you can't miss, George. I picked the stupidest-looking man in the audience to be your opponent.
Oh, well, maybe I...
There's my signal. We're on the air. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your guest quiz mistress, Gracie Allen, bringing you another session of Who Am I? And now let's meet our two contestants who will vie for the prize. And what's your name, sir?
Professor Kieran P. Adams, Doctor of Philosophy, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, and graduate of 12 universities.
Don't worry, I'm making up the clues. All right, Mr. Burns, you get the first clue. I am a handsome movie actor, and I have a mustache. I returned from the Air Forces and made a picture called Adventure. They had a slogan about me which went, Gable's back and Garson's got him. My first name is Clark. Who am I?
This is just a guess, of course, but could it be Clark Gable? Well, what do you know?
That's one score for you. And now, Professor, here's your clue. I'm 32 years of age. Who am I?
Well,
Time's up. We can't go on longer.
what
Your turn again, Mr. Burns. Here's your clue. My home is Independence, Missouri. My wife's name is Bess, and my daughter's name is Margaret. I play the piano. Friends call me Harry. Who am I? No help, please. Let's keep this fair.
Harry Truman?
How did you get it?
Again, I bet.
Now, just a moment, Miss Harris. I demand to be given a clue like you just gave him.
Oh, all right. I'll show you I'm fair. Here's your clue. My home is Independence, Missouri. My wife's name is Bess, and my daughter's name is Margaret. I play the piano. Friends call me Harry. Who am I?
Harry Truman.
No, Harry Junk.
But, Miss Allen,
Independence is a pretty big place, you know. They play the piano like crazy there.
I give up. This is the most unmitigated example of bias and prejudice I've ever encountered.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner, Mr. George Burns.
I'll have to admit you sure fixed it, Gracie.
Oh, George, you're the only winner. You'll get everything, refrigerated, cars, apartment houses.
Here comes the announcer to give me my loot.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Who Am I, the quiz program that's different. Yes, it's really different. This is the only quiz program on the air that doesn't give prizes.
Oh, no.
And now I know that tonight's winner, Mr. George Burns, feels like saying a few words.
Well, let's go, George.
But Mr. Burns would like to say a few words.
Just it. I know what the words are.
Well, I'm glad we're home. 8 hours I've been beating my brains out on those quiz shows and not a sign of a refrigerator.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear, but I was so sure we... Oh, look. Somebody left a note under our door.
Who's it from?
It's from Mr. Jenkins, the hardware man. He said, Dear Mrs. Burns, I had a cancellation on a new refrigerator and brought it over to you, but you weren't home, so I had to sew it. Oh, George, stop beating your head against the side of the house. You're knocking the paint off.
Join us again next week when we'll all be back. George Burns, Gracie Allen, Meredith Wilson and his orchestra, and yours truly, Bill Goodwin. Our guest, Eddie Cantor. The George Burns and Gracie Allen Show is written by Paul Henning and Keith Fowler. Until next Thursday, good night and good luck from the makers of Maxwell House, America's #1 preferred brand of coffee.
Always good to the last drop.
You think we'll ever get a new refrigerator, Gracie?
Oh, we don't need a new one now. Since you took the motor out on the old one to work on it, our old one really keeps things cold.
It does?
Well, sure. Now I've got room to put ice in it.
And now an important announcement. Because of the return to standard time next week, Maxwell House Coffee Time will come to you next Thursday evening, 1 hour later in many communities. To be sure of the exact time of broadcast, check your local papers.
Get Bird's Eye. Get Bird's Eye Chicken a la King. Big, tender pieces of chicken with Bird's Eye green peas, mushrooms, and pimentos in rich, creamy gravy. A swell meat saver these days. And there's plenty in the stores now, so get Bird's Eye Chicken a la King tomorrow. But remember,
it can't be the same if it ain't got that name. Get Bird's Eye frozen food.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.